Oh man, it has been a grueling 2 weeks. We finally got a new chapter for Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a short one, but it was a good one nonetheless, as it gives us enough to hold us over for the next chapter, and this continues to make me hyped for the time skip, because some things have happened in this that I have not expected, and I am very excited to talk about this chapter with all of you. But before we get into this chapter, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and you want to see more. Now with that out of the way, let's get right into the chapter. So chapter 134 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, titled The Stranger. As we start off where the main group ends up falling through a chaos hole, and they are falling down into a forest. Donnie just barely manages to use his telekinesis to stop them from just splatting onto the ground. They then begin to catch their breath as Donnie is basically exhausted from what's going on. But An is incredibly concerned over Gowther as he just lost basically 2 limbs. She's panicking and noticing that they don't have any medical gear with them. Donnie's saying he can't help who's here and who's not as they lament that Nazians isn't there with them. An goes on to say that he might die if he doesn't get any type of treatment, but Gowther just plops his head up and says, not a problem. Losing your limb or 2 won't kill me or anything, as this freaks out An immediately. Pretty honestly, I'd say a normal person would have this reaction right away. As Gowther just says, it's a little annoying, but Thetis can repair it later. Honestly, we all kind of figured that Gowther would have a way to repair himself later, but this does confirm a theory that we all had, that Thetis would be the one to repair Gowther. And I just like how Gowther's just nonchalant about losing a limb. Like I stated in the last chapter review, Gowther losing a limb or 2, it's just an average Tuesday for him. An rightfully asks him how he can be so calm after losing an arm and a leg, but Gowther just says, didn't I tell you guys? I'm a doll created by a great wizard long ago. As they're like, a doll? And they even come to the conclusion that that's how Gowther managed to enter Camelot, as we all kind of figured that that would be the case, since it basically accounts for all the other races like demons, goddesses, fairies, and giants, but not a doll like Gowther, as he's more or less just a creation from somebody else. But Gowther gives off an air of warning, saying that there's a more pressing concern that they need right now, and that is Arthur's minion, Beltrep, the Green Knight of the Four Evils. If they encounter him again, it's very likely that escape won't be possible, as this obviously gives these guys concerns and also solidifies Beltrep as an actual threat that we need to look out for. Because even though Gowther is one of the 7 deadly sins, arguably he is physically the weakest. He's not the most combative type, he's more specializes in tricks and mental battles. But everyone then begins to check out their surroundings, wondering where they are. They're not even sure where they are and they should just start walking. The older brother that they picked up asks, can't they just take them back to Britannia right now so they can lose their pursuers? But An says they can't from where they are. Obviously the brother is just saying, wait, that means you guys can't bring us back, right? I knew it, you guys were lying. But Donnie just tells them to calm down, as to explain their whole situation. He goes on to say that 2 years ago they found info that led them to the door to Camelot, which is the portal that was in the demon realm that they found in the previous arc. And they found it in the constant alive of one of their friends, which is Percival. But Gowther goes on to say that it is a warped, unstable crack in dimensional space. And right now it's being maintained by Thetis, the Mage of Leonis. Which first off, really goes to show how good of a magic user Thetis is. She's able to keep that crack in space-time managed by herself. And I legitimately do think we can actually have Thetis do something in the future. I am praying for that. But they go on to say that as long as they can tip Thetis off at their location, she'll toss the door in their direction. But they still need to be very careful, as that is their only ticket back to Britannia and out of Camelot. If they let the enemy see it, they'll destroy it on sight. It's also a pretty damn big gate too, so they gotta be careful with where they summon it. Meaning that right now they have to find a good place where they not only won't be followed, but will be a good place for them to tip Thetis off on where the location is, so she can open the gates where they are so they can go home. That the group begins to walk. And I do like how Sylvain is actually asking for one of those magic carrots that will give him the ability to fly and make him into an actual stallion. Which, legitimately, I do think that the only reason he wants the carrot is so he could actually look like a majestic horse Pegasus thing. Also, I like that now he has the ability to talk so An can understand him now, which is kind of funny. But yeah, if they fly around, it'll only alert the enemy to their location. An looks over and notices that there is a big building up ahead through the forest, and it might be a castle. We then get a panel of something running as the group is heading towards the castle, as Gowther reminisces of the old days, saying that 18 years ago, Hauser actually carried Gowther just like Donnie is right now, and that was during the original Leonis arc in Seven Deadly Sins, where they had to take back the capital. Gowther states how Hauser treated him very well despite them being enemies at the time. And he goes on to say that him and Donnie are a lot alike. Like uncle, like nephew, I kind of like it. Even down to the pompadour. The older brother then goes on to ask if there's really no hope for his sister, because he really wants her to see their mother. But just then, they hear a rustling as An tells them to be quiet for right now as there's something out there. We then see a giant wolf, just like the one we saw in Chapter 2, appear right before them. Even Donnie knows this is roughly the same wolf that they saw from the beginning of the story. And as he's like panicking, he says, yeah, not this Donnie, not right here, right now, as he hovers it up with his telekinesis. And he's like, how about I toss you to Kingdom Come, as An tells Donnie to hold on and to look around him, as they notice that they are surrounded by at least 5 different wolves right now. So, yeah, they are in the wolves' den seemingly, they're in their territory, but just like that, the brother points out that there are collars on them, meaning that they are in their owner's territory. I was wondering who their master might be, as somebody walks in off screen stating, well, of all the unexpected guests, how did you make it over here? As they instantly recognize this particular knight, as they get ready to basically face this guy off. He says, well, I guess you might call it fate, but as Donnie and An are ready to fight, he tells them to hold on, I don't want to fight you right now, as they're asking what they want from us, with the final page of the chapter showcasing that the knight that they meet is Pellegarde, and he says, why don't we have a nice little conversation, as it looks pretty serious in this image. And that is the end of the chapter. Pretty short chapter despite the 2-week break, but I think Nakama wanted to end things off with the reveal of Pellegarde. And I'm honestly very happy to see Pellegarde once more in the story. As we all know, he's one of my favorite characters in Four Knights, and he always brings an extra layer to the story a lot of the times, and his interactions with the main Percival group is always fun to see. But this does leave the question, what does Pellegarde want to talk to him about? Is he going to ask him about what happened to Percival, or Percival's origins, or does he want to find out why they're here in Camelot, and maybe he'll help them just get away, because he doesn't really like fighting people a lot. He doesn't like to resort to violence, as that has been shown a lot of the times. Even when he was in enemy territory in the Leonis arc, he didn't want to fight the Four Knights, and he just opted to just find Percival and make him his apprentice, and when he saw that they wanted to fight, he just bolted, not really wanting to fight. Now, if they do end up having some sort of fight, it'd be nice to see Pellegarde actually try in his fights, because he only really fought twice, and both times he wasn't using his full power, and he was either just testing Percival, or he was literally just trying to get away and not wanting to do an actual fight. Either way, I'm excited to see what happens next, as we're going to see how they get out of Camelot, what this interaction with Pellegarde will entail, and what they'll discuss, and who knows, maybe we'll find more out about Arthur and what happened in the last 2 years through the other characters, and maybe who the prisoner actually is. My money is still on it being Nazians, so let's see what happens next. And before I end off this video, I was actually going to make this a separate video in and of itself, but I didn't find the time. I made a Four Knights of the Apocalypse bingo card. Now on here are predictions from you in the community tab, or those in the 7 Deadly Sins Reddit, on predictions on what will happen in the Four Knights story. So as the chapters progress, if one of these predictions comes true, we will mark it off the bingo board and see if we get a bingo. I got this from Grand Line Review, and I figured it'd be a fun idea to introduce into these videos to add an extra layer of interaction between us, and just to make a bit more to look forward to in the chapters. But that's really all I got for you guys today. Very short chapter, not too much happened. We got Pellegarde's reveal, we got more explanations on the gate and how they get out of there, as well as showcasing, basically foreshadowing how strong Thetis could actually be, as she's maintaining a whole gate and being so precise about it by herself. So, we gotta look forward to what's gonna happen next. But what did you guys think of this chapter? Did you enjoy what you saw? Are you excited for what happens next? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I'm making on the channel and you want to see more. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.